And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup right here in San Diego next to the Sport Fishing Landings, and we have a great guest this morning, Valerie Hoperich from Queen Charlotte Safari. We're going to be talking some fishing in beautiful British Columbia and a lot more. You stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090.
You've heard all about it. You know the anglers catching fish have it, so what's holding you back? It's a fact. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. You can get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com is for everyone, whether you have your own boat, fish on your friend's boat, or a sport boat. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. So bottom line is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, you're probably missing a lot of bites. Membership costs less than $50 of gas, and that's for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, use the special code to save $20 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
You know, the ranch is unique. It's one of the few places in the world where you can still drive ATVs up the beach. We have fishing from the beach. We have dive trips that we run to Pomo in a number of different spots. Kayaking, of course, has been real big. We were one of the first hotels to introduce kayaking. The ranch is small, you know, it's intimate. It's 34 rooms, so everyone gets to know everyone. The old saying, where everyone knows your name. Well, truly at Rancho Leonero, the employees do know pretty darn near all our guests' names. And what's even more interesting is most of the guests know each other's names. Very personal, very intimate, and a special, special environment. 2 miles of beachfront, a mile on either side of the hotel. Rancho Leonero is really the last of the old-style Baja fishing resorts. 1-800-646-2252. 1-800-646-BAJA. And RanchoLeonero.com. I'll personally guarantee your best fishing experience and vacation at Rancho Leonero.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, man. Today's going to be a great day. Talking with Valerie, talking Queen Charlotte. I'm pumped.
Yeah. Good morning, Valerie.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Hey, of course, you were supposed to be here in the studio, but you came down with a little cold. So just out of the abundance of caution, like we did last Sunday, you're going to be by phone, right? But it all works out.
Hey, I'm in beautiful San Ynez Valley, Buellton, so I can't go wrong.
Oh, it's
I see the San Ynez Mountains. I know, I can see the mountains right from my window, so beautiful.
Gotta love that.
So bear with me here.
Yeah, no problem. I know you have your lozenges and you'll be fine. So, Queen Charlotte Safari, San Ynez Valley, beautiful place. This is your winter headquarters, right?
Correct. I love it.
Yeah. So tell us first, for our listeners that may not be familiar with Queen Charlotte Safaris, where are you? How do you get there?
Yeah, what's it all about?
What is it?
Okay. So from Southern California, well, anywhere on the West Coast, we're very easy accessible. You will fly from, I'm going to use your destination as an example, like San Diego, okay?
Perfect.
You go San Diego to Vancouver, right into Haida Gwaii Sandspit. That's the name of our airport. Yeah, just like it sounds, Sandspit. Very easy to get to. And for those that don't know where the Queen Charlotte Safari's Lodge is on Haida Gwaii, we are north of Vancouver, British Columbia. We are south of southeast Ketchikan, not too far, about 90 miles south west of Ketchikan, north of Vancouver. So we're just our own little archipelago of 100 islands situated off the west coast of British Columbia. You would think we might be part of the archipelago of Alaska, but we're not. The line between the United States and Canada goes right between the top of our island. Makes us very unique. And we're following that shoreline of the continental shelf of the west coast.
Pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
And
I didn't realize it was that close to Alaska, north of Canada. I knew it was in BC. I just didn't realize it was that far up.
It's practically
that was a great description. Yeah, that was really cool.
Alaska. Yeah, it's right there. I mean, it's
it's right there. Yeah, and our fish run's different. We'll save that for later in the segment about the fish runs and the difference between the Chinook, the king salmon run that go through our islands have nothing to do with the runs that are going up through Alaska. Completely a different run, and we can hit the fishing a little later on that.
Yeah. So, fortunately, since the last time you were on the show, I have the pleasure of being there last August with our Let's Talk Hookup group. And Harold Davis and the whole crowd. Harold got to stay there for 2 trips, 8 days. Lucky guy.
He was crew. He was a salty crew. He was awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But it is so sand spit is literally a sand spit where you land on a sand spit. It's pretty cool. And
yes.
and you know Vancouver, beautiful place. If you have to overnight, it's really a cool place. But you don't necessarily have to overnight in Vancouver. You can go right directly into Sandspit if all the everything aligns this year, right?
Correct. So 2021 was just, it was what it was.
Crazy.
When we got the green light to open, I had my staff up north, myself here. And we went day to day to day, waiting to know if the border would open for U.S. guests and then if we were allowed to have our Canadian guests. And once we got a green light, it was go. And we pulled it off. And I'm just so grateful. I wanted to, it's a new year, 2022, and everyone says to me, what's your New Year's resolution or anything like that? I didn't really make one other than I think to myself gratitude, because for us to open for 6 weeks last summer and it literally was on when I said the green light, my staff up north were so awesome. We did it.
You did it.
I hopped on a plane and we left and we did it.
Yeah, and we had literally, I think, a week notice that, okay, it's on.
Yeah, here we go.
We're going.
Get your bag.
Yeah, here we go.
Get your bags and let's go to Queen Charlotte Safaris. And what a great trip we had. I mean, I must say that I've been to Alaska.
Been to a lot of spots.
Dozens of times and been to a lot of places, and I love Alaska. It's so many great, diverse places to go to. But I have never seen king salmon fishing like we saw at Queen Charlotte Safaris. It is unbelievable. And the lingcod fishing, unbelievable.
That was my favorite part when Valerie was on last time, was talking about how good the lingcod fishing was. And you never are skeptical, but like, how could it be that good? And as soon as you came back, that was the first thing you said. Like, it was the best I've ever seen.
Yeah. And it's interesting. They're very different the way they fish. They don't anchor. So imagine that.
No.
Not anchoring on a spot.
Yeah, right?
And just drifting over spots and still catching halibut and lingcod and rockfish and that kind of stuff. When I was there, unfortunately, we didn't have a good weather window. It was just a storm pulled in. But we had great salmon fishing. We had... we got a little bit of windows on the rockhead fishing lingcod, so I got a little sample of it. But what I saw was, oh man, this could really be on.
That's cool.
This could really be good for sure. But the amount of big kings was what was really impressive. I mean, I know our group, we had several in the 20s, mid 20s, high 20s, and then the group after us, our Let's Talk Hookup group after us, they had a lot in the 30s, right? Right, Valerie?
Correct. Yes, correct. So, I mean, fishing is fishing, but I will say this. I'm going on year 21. Yay! Year 21.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And I think that it's all about location. And you have to look at follow the transitory migration of these mighty Chinook salmon kings coming down. They're actually coming through our islands to feed on our bait fish. That Pacific current coming from Japan, that current just brings them right down our shoreline, right between us, the shoreline, and the continental shelf. And we have run after run after run. They're not coming in to spawn. We are completely transitory. And so a lot of these fish are going to go down to Oregon. They're going to go down to Washington State. They're going to go to Fraser River and all the lower mainland past Vancouver Island, inside passage of British Columbia. No Alaska fishes. The Alaska fishery for their migration is completely different. And that's why they have a shorter period. It's because most of these fish coming through are U.S. fish, and they're also Canadian fish, all mixed in to go to all different watersheds. But if they're juveniles, like under 4 years old, they're just making a loop, gorging themselves, and then they'll head right back up north until the next migration. So they'll start running mid-May, and we fished clear up to September 8th, and we caught Chinook the whole time. We opened in July for Canadians, opened in August for U.S. I don't know anyone that didn't go home with their limits of Chinook, like anybody. And we had some record numbers this year, 40 plus, and a lot of fish. I kept a track between 25 and about 38 pounds. Those are beautiful fish. And our record was set by a young boy from the East Coast. The only thing he has caught is something that was, I'm not even going to say, maybe 8-inch fish. Like they fish the East Coast for different varieties of species. He landed a 42-pound Chinook, his first fish in the boat. He is
cool.
Spoiled for life, and they're coming back in July. But his mother's like, anyone that will listen to him talk about that fish, he will talk about it. So what a neat thing to do, to bring a family up, and it was a young family with kids, and it was pretty cool. So just keep in mind, you can't really compare fishing north of us. It's a completely different fishery, and it's a completely different run. And these are all transitory Chinook coming through.
Yes, and the cool thing is, too, is that the limits for Canada are much more generous as far as king salmon. They call them Chinooks. Yeah, that's one thing that Lolly hasn't been able to get used to in the freezer. You know, when I brought back the fish, it says, I go, well, let's have some king tonight. It's like, oh, well, all we have is this Chinook. And I go, it's the same thing. Chinook and king are the same thing. So just so you know, when Valerie says Chinook, just think king. That's what we think.
Yes, or the guides actually might have said spring. That will really throw everybody out there, this is spring salmon.
Yeah, but anyway, they're much more generous on the take of kings, on the take of lingcod especially. I mean, you can take any size lingcod, right?
Yes, up to 6 per angler. 6
per angler per trip.
Yep.
That's crazy. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a
awesome.
lot of fish. And also you can take rockfish, and so you're going to take a box home at least, right, on a 3-day trip.
Yes, and you have to keep in mind is that we do have a certified fish processing plant in our big population of 250 people. We do have a fish processing plant right across from the harbor. So every night when you guys came in, those guys are right there on the dock. They get your fish, they take it up to the plant, and all your fish is processed that evening. They don't hold it on ice and cut the next morning. Every night they're cutting your fish to keep that quality and that freshness, all vacuum packed, all flash frozen. And you saw your fish boxes, styro coolers inside of boxes, nicely done. Go right back on the airplane all the way back with you.
Those styro coolers are amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally a styrofoam cooler that they put. So when your fish gets home after several hours, it's still solid.
Rock hard.
Rock hard.
That's cool.
Yep.
It's an impressive product. And that's all included in the package price, right?
Absolutely, whether you have one or three or whatever it may be. And here's the other nice thing that we do. Actually, we did that for you and your brother, is you have family members going opposite directions.
Yep.
And so they will box your fish together and split it evenly. So every day they'll have, we're just going to call it the Pete Gray family. They divided all your fish up evenly. And because your brother was going a whole different direction than where you were going, and all your fish was split evenly nicely.
Yeah,
That's
no,
cool.
it's they do a great job on the boats, and it's maximum of 4 people per boat. Is that right, Valerie?
Correct. We can do on the big boat. We can, you could fish 6, and we did have a family that was part of your group on the second group come in, and they wanted it that way because it's a 30-foot boat, and they did just great. So,
Yeah.
But normally, as a norm, 4 guests to go to a boat.
Yeah. Well, it's such a great opportunity and a great place to go, and I mean, very thankful that they opened up just in time for us to be able to go last year.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to our August 2022 trip. How's it looking this year, Valerie? I mean, things going to be different up in Canada this year?
Yes, I believe so. Last year there was a lot of unknowns for everybody, and once that border opened, I think considering everything we've been through and not being open and opening, that it went really smoothly. Everybody was very patient. We got everybody through very quickly, and the paperwork was down to a minimal. We put it on an app, which made it so easy. And I think it's even going to be seamless this year. They're adding flights, especially out of San Diego, LA, San Jose, San Francisco, any of the West Coast hub airports in California. They're adding that early morning flight, which we did not have. So people will be able to have enough time to get on that plane and come on up. I still recommend for those that don't want to have to get up at 2 a.m. and would rather just make it simple, come up the night before, and I'll arrange a hotel. But for those that don't want to, it looks like those early morning flights that give you a good 3.5 hours in Vancouver to connect are back on schedule.
Yeah,
which
and you can
is
just
awesome.
you can just fly right up straight, same day, fly in, fly out.
Straight up.
Yeah, and that's really nice. Make it a great 4-day trip. 3 days of fishing, 4 nights lodging, and we haven't talked about the lodge yet. And the lodge, first of all, your chef there is unbelievable. That guy.
I know, Chef John is great.
Yeah, he is amazing.
He's good.
And the people there that you have at the lodge are so wonderful, so accommodating. I mean, it's like they know what you drink, so you walk in the door and they hand you a cocktail or a glass of wine or whatever. The rooms are very, very comfortable. The lodge itself is so beautiful, right on the water, and beautiful outdoor deck. When the sun's shining, you get out there and the eagles are all over the place. It's really, truly a special place. And then the other thing, too, about the location of the lodge is literally you can walk to the boats if you want to, or you can jump in the van with Valerie. But you can walk to the boats. Yeah. It's maybe, what is it, about a quarter of a mile, third of a mile down there?
I'd say a quarter of a mile. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
give you a good stretch.
Yeah. And then just beyond that, if you have a little extra time and you like to hike, there's a beautiful state park that you can walk all through. The trails are just fantastic, and it's all kind of right there. I mean, there's a store right there. I mean, you can get everything you want at the store, but you don't need anything because everything's at the lodge. But I mean, it's a very tiny community, but everything is very right there, right, Valerie?
Mm-hmm. It sure is, and Sandspit is my home away from home, my second home, and every time I fly in, I mean, all you see is just this beautiful, crystal clear water, the mountains, the trees, and it's really surreal. And it's until you go experience it, I get so many comments from people about, wow, this is a little piece of paradise on this planet. I had no idea. And people not only love the fishing side of it, but they also fall in love with the beauty and where it's at. And of course, my staff is the best. And it's just all inclusive. I mean, there's no guessing, there's no worrying. We take care of everything from the time you leave your house. Now, I can't predict traffic, but what I mean is your itinerary is all done. You get on the airplane, you get into Sandspit, and there we are. Like, pick you up, you get the little tour of the quaint little town, and come into the lodge, and your home is our home, and I said that backwards. Our home is your home, and I don't know. It's just more intimate. We have we run 6 boats, 24 anglers, and that's a really good, perfect size. Plus, my new crew, Harold Davis.
Yeah, Harold. You know how Harold is. He wants to pretty much run the show when he gets there. So he was
awesome.
Instructing all the boat captains and proper safety and all that stuff.
That's
right?
Funny.
Yeah, it was really good.
Kept everybody in line.
And so,
yes,
he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for you today. A lot to talk about with Valerie from Queen Charlotte Safaris in beautiful British Columbia.
Yeah, this is going to be a great one. So much to cover, great fishing. We haven't even scratched the surface of the fishing up there and everything that's going on here with the local tuna. It's just going to be a great show and lots of fun, and we can't wait to have you join us this morning. If you want to be a part of Let's Talk Hookup, give us a call at 213-432-1090. Again, 213-432-1090. That's how you reach us here on Let's Talk Hookup through the phone, or send us a text. The text to the show option, that's only available through the Let's Talk Hookup app, which is a free download, easy to get. Just search Let's Talk Hookup wherever you get your apps. It's totally free and a great way to listen to the show and a great way to participate via the Let's Talk Hookup app and sending your text questions to the show. As we've talked about, if you haven't caught the show, now the texters are eligible for winning the great prize that we're going to be giving away at the end of the show, which we'll tell you about in just a second. So when you're sending your text, if you got a question for Valerie, make sure that you include your contact info, just your name and a phone number. So if you're the winner at the end of the show, we can call you up and get all your particulars and get your great prize to you. It's not like sending a text on your phone. Your number doesn't pop up, so make sure you include your number within the text so we can get you for the winner. The way we choose the winners, at the end of the show, we will select randomly one of the callers and one of the texters, and then we flip a coin. Usually our guest, if Valerie were in the studio here, we flip a coin, one side for texters, one for callers. Whatever that happens to be on, boom, that is our winner at the end of the show today. So totally random, might be a caller, might be a texter, different every week, and a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to having your participation. Lots of phone calls, lots of texts, and man, do we have a great prize for you. One lucky caller or texter at the end of the show today is going to win a full-day trip on board the Liberty at a Fisherman's Landing. The boat's doing their maintenance period right now, so you might be one of the first to get through on the bright, shiny, new killer Liberty as they come out of their maintenance and get ready for a kick-butt season, man. It's going to be a great one. We'll be off to the races, and I know those guys are going to be doing some call-a-net trips this year and get right onto that full-day fishing at the Coronado Islands that they're so famous for.
Sweet.
So, yeah, going to be some great fishing on board the Liberty, and you might be winning a full-day trip. Again, if you want to get through, give us a call at 213-432-1090 or send us a text, and when we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls. Lots of great info coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090.
This is Captain Art Taylor of Searcher Sport Fishing. Celia and I would like to thank all of our great customers for helping celebrate Searcher's 50th anniversary. Our 2021 schedule is available now with more limited load trips. The Searcher has a great crew, fantastic food, a family atmosphere to make your fishing adventure complete. Book your trip online at searchersportfishing.com. That's searchersportfishing.com. Or call Celia at 619-226-2403.
The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern. Our hardworking crew will make sure your fishing experience is one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. Fisherman's Landing is a full-service operation offering great half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day open party trips on the spacious and comfortable Liberty. Since we introduced the full-day trips at Fisherman's Landing, the 85-foot Liberty has become a favorite among full-day operations with bunks for your comfort, huge bait capacity, and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Plus, Liberty has a big modern galley and 2 interior heads with showers. All our open party trips from half-day, full, or 1 to 3 day trips can easily be booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know, CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
Hey anglers, AFCO Pro Captain Ben Florentino of Coastal Charters here. As a full-time guide, I'm on the water all year long. It's my livelihood. Having the right clothing is of the utmost importance to staying warm, dry, cool, and comfortable to endure whatever the Pacific wants to throw at me. Thankfully, I'm equipped with AFCO clothing to keep me dialed season after season. Do yourself a favor and check out AFCO's award-winning gear at a dealer near you, or learn more at AFCO.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. We're having a great time here this morning with Valerie from Queen Charlotte Safaris. Lots of great fishing going on. Again, if you want to join us, our phone's absolutely packed solid, but there's going to be tons of opportunity to get you through later in the show. That's 213-432-1090, or send us a text. We've already got some really good texts lined up for us today. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, hey, let's go ahead and jump into those phones. They're already packed up. I want to talk to Valerie. You ready, Valerie?
I'm ready.
All right, well, let's do it. Let's start it off this morning with John. He's calling us from Escondido this morning. Hi, John. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
I got a question for Rick and then a couple questions for Valerie. My question for Rick, I came in on Friday morning and I bought a rod for my Calica 50. I got a United Composites. And on the bottom, the butt area, it's got this white stenciling on the upper grip, just numbers. Is there a way to remove those numbers without damaging the material? And then my question for Valerie is, do you do crabbing along with the fishing, and do you need to bring any tackle?
Well, I can handle the rod one real quick. That is just a material number. So what he's referring to on that particular rod, it's a rail rod, and they have like almost like a fuel line style hose rubber grip, a real indestructible grip. So when your rod drags on the rail, and literally that's what it is. It's like an industrial, almost like a part number on it. As far as the removal of it, I'm honestly not sure, John. I think I would just try to hit it with like put a little acetone or something like that on a rag and hit a small inconspicuous spot to see if that does the trick. And if not, if you don't like the looks of that, I would just purchase like a section of that smooth shrink, like heat shrink type tubing, and we could shrink it right down over the top of it. That for sure would make it go away and almost give you like a double protection if you need it. It wouldn't be a necessity thing, but if you just don't like the looks of it, that would probably be the easiest way to get around it, would just be to put some rail rod smooth shrink over the top.
Yeah. And then Valerie, what about crabbing?
Well, you tell me. Did you like your crab dinner?
Oh, the crab dinner was fantastic. Yeah.
So to answer your question, John, absolutely. So in BC, we actually have Dungeness crabs, and we will put the crab pots down on your way out to go fishing. And the Dungeness crab up where they get really good size, and so we will put the pots down, pull them up when we come back in from fishing. They do have to be measured. We have a certain centimeter, and if they're the big females, have to throw them back in. But we get very, very nice Dungeness crab. And here's the thing about the waters. I just want to talk about the waters for a minute. Pristine, unspoiled, clear. We really don't have any commercial freight liners coming through our fishing grounds. We don't have cruise ships. We don't have anything like that. I'm not picking on cruise ships. I'm just trying to explain. This is a very the nutrients in the water. That's why our fishery is so good. Is we got the nutrients, we got the bait, and it is unspoiled, untouched region of the world. It is amazing.
Very.
So, to answer your question, crabbing.
Yeah, there's not a lot of fishing pressure. I mean, because it's just like because Sandspit is it for how many miles? I mean, that's the closest place to Sandspit is how far?
You have to take a ferry, a 20-minute ferry, to get over on the other island, and that's the other island has 5 villages, 2 of First Nations, the Haida, Skidegate, and Maslet. So Sandspit's it for Moresby Island. That the middle part of Moresby Island that we're on, one of the bigger islands. If you go south, it's all UNESCO park. It's all protected park. Beautiful. They do tours down there. They're all guided. But like the crab. Getting back to the crab of the question of the crab, I cannot express enough, not just the crabbing, but the fishing of how unspoiled and how these waters are just pristine.
Yes, they are. So thanks, John, for the call. Appreciate it. And, the follow-up question
Thank you, John.
A text from Wayne in Carlsbad. He had a 2-part question. One of the parts is he says, is there crabbing for Dungeness crab available? And if so, can they be shipped frozen back to California? But the other question he had was, what are the fish that catch limits for British Columbia, species and bag limits?
Okay. Good morning. I'll answer the first question about the crabbing. Crab is very, very difficult to take back because it's spiny, and if you stick it in your fish box, it punctures all your fish fillets. It just does. We've tried it. You legally, yes, you can take crab home. I have found over the years it's just better to everyone bring the crab together because every boat gets the opportunity to put the crab pots down, pull them back up. It's the experience. And then we just do a big crab dinner, and we call it good. Sometimes you get 2 crab dinners depending on how much crab and how big the group is. But in transport, legally, you have to keep your crab whole and all the innards in, and that's really, it just doesn't taste the same by the time you get it home. So we do crabbing, but everything is going to be cooked on site.
Okay. All right.
The
and then what about
part,
limits?
Yeah, limits.
Okay, let's talk limits. All right, so I'll start out with the salmon. Per angler, 8 salmon, 4 can be Chinook. There's no size restriction. And barbless hooks on the salmon, by the way, and we can talk about that in a single action reel and conventional at some point in the show. Yeah. You may have 6 ling, no size or slot time restrictions on your ling cod. 2 halibut. You can have either 2 a day or 2 in your box, and the largest, we go by centimeters again, is 60 pounds, that's the best table fare for halibut anyway. And then rockfish, you may have 6. Our islands, we have 35 species of rockfish. There's stuff sometimes that comes out of the water that we have to get our chart book out and say, what is this? And some of the favorites, though, being vermilion, of course. Yellow eye has been off the radar. I think it's going to come back on the radar to be able to keep yellow eye again. And but the vermilion is probably the number 1 sought after. But we have quillback, chinaback, and we have sablefish, which is the black cod. So those are pretty much the ones that people keep. And keep in mind on the rockfish, they are small, but they're beautiful, taste really good, and sole. We get sole too. I forgot to put sole in there. And then there's so many different other species. I'd have to get my chart book out, but those are the main ones you're going to catch. You're going to catch.
Yeah, awesome. You're going to catch it. All right, appreciate that. Well, let's go ahead and jump back into it. Right?
Yeah, well, I wanted to, again, yet another follow-up. We had a great text. Somebody mentioned on his specific rod, John's question about the numbers on that he said denatured alcohol works best for the numbers, that he had tried using acetone and it began to eat away at the material a little bit. So he recommended trying denatured alcohol, a little rag to get that out. So
good
anyways,
call.
Nice fill-in text there. Anyways, let's jump back into the phones. This time we're going to talk to Benton. He's calling us from Hidden Meadows this morning. Good morning, Benton. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, guys. How you doing today?
Great. Good morning.
I got a question for you guys. I'm a guide up in the Pacific Northwest, and I spend June through October up there fishing, Columbia River, Puget Sound, Straits of Juan de Fuca, that area. I've been thinking about pulling my boat down here and trying to run it offshore. What kind of a range requirement do you guys really have or recommend for a boat to actually get out there and actively chase these bluefin around that are out there, that time of year?
It's such an open-ended question because it depends on what the fish do and where they go. I mean, what I think you need to, if you're planning on trailering a boat all the way down here, I mean, that's a big trip. You would need to have a boat that would confidently fish 40 miles offshore. And you know how that is too. That's so open-ended. Every boat is different. You need a boat that's capable of weather and making a trip and fuel.
Watch your weather.
Yeah, and there
was time where the fish was at 7-8 miles off the coast.
I mean, there was times when it was right off of Dana Point.
Right.
Totally.
If you time your trip correctly, you could be a short run.
Yeah. I mean, there was that fish was accessible by everything. It was kayaks that caught them this year.
Right.
If the stars align. But I think if you're planning for that trip right now, meaning you don't know what the fish is going to be like or when you're going to be down here and you can't go, I think that 40 miles would be a distance where most of the time there's going to be fish within that range. And exactly as Pete said, that fish was constantly on the 9 Mile bank. It was constantly right outside of Dana Point. There was
for several weeks, right? Like literally out the harbor.
Totally.
Yeah.
But you gotta, but that's fishing. And there are times when that's great. And I would say that's more the exception than it is the rule. But you know what? Last year we had it for a huge amount of time. So
yeah, for sure. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right. Let's jump back into them. We got another great text coming through. This one, good morning and Happy New Year. Valerie, can you please describe some of the fishing techniques used at Queen Charlotte Safari? That's from Duffy in Long Beach.
All right. Thanks, Duffy.
All right. Thank you, Duffy. Let's start with the salmon, and then we can go on to lingcod and the halibut and the rockfish. So salmon, a couple of things we do. We do have conventional reels. Actually, we have Abbott's here from California, and we have Shimano, and we also have our single action reel, Islander reels, and that is the Canadian way of catching salmon, kind of a traditional way. And well, I don't know, Pete, if you tried that one, but
no, you mean you're talking knuckle busters?
yeah, our single action reels. Well, and it's for people that really like that sporty feel every move of the fish, because it's barbless hooks, of course, and these are like saltwater fly reels, and it's very traditional in Canada to fish this way for salmon on the West Coast. But we also have conventional reels. So we use cut plugs, we'll use herring, anchovy, and spoons, and it really depends on the bite. The guides mix it all up depending on the bite, and you can mooch if you know what you're doing. We have mooching stations off the back of the boats if you want to use a mooching reel and do that too. So we mix it up with the salmon. Keep in mind, again, barbless hooks, very sporty. If you get sometimes you get some of those juveniles and bring them up to the side of the boat, and they are very nicely released. And that is really actually a kind of nice way to fish for salmon. So a little bit of everything on the salmon. And we'll have weeks where everything's on a lure, like it just is. All different kinds of lures. And we have flashers and hoochies and everything for salmon.
And the captains are so good.
That's
cool. They are so good at
they
knowing
are.
and they talk and they say, okay, what are you getting them on?
That's
and
nice.
Yeah, so it works out really well.
Yeah, and BC is a little different. I get a lot of guests, obviously being a California resident and also a California marketing business, doing business up in British Columbia. So I have both. A lot of California guests are like, gosh, you guys fish a little different up here than we do down in California. So everybody learns something, which I think is awesome, and share ideas. I've had groups come up and say, well, this is what we do down in San Diego or Baja or whatever. And the guys are like, wow, okay, we can try some of that. But as a whole, that is what we're doing on salmon.
I just feel like I can hear Harold
downriggers.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you're right. He did have some good ideas. And, and yes, we do trolling, but you can mooch. Sometimes they'll clip the line, so you've got your downrigger station with a clipped line, so it makes it 4 on there. The only thing you got to be really careful when you get fish on, not to have a cluster of lines getting all mixed in. But the guys are pretty good about keeping that all straight and going. Let's talk about halibut and the lings. Halibut, we do not anchor. We drift, just like you said earlier, and we jigs a lot. We use a lot of jigs. Sometimes if we can get octopus, they'll use that. And halibut up there love herring. I buy a lot of herring, and these are like the big purple 9-inch herring. These are not the small herring. And so it just depends. They'll try it. They have a little bucket of everything, and they try it all. And ling cod, same thing. They pretty much jigs on the lings. And what's interesting, we have certain areas where the salmon are migrating through, and it's also, and the pinnacles are there for like the ling cod, and it all kind of comes together, and you can catch lings and kings in the same area. And I don't know if you got to do that or not when you were on the boat with Captain Ed, but there's some spots there that is pretty interesting that you can get ling cod and salmon in the same area, king salmon.
Yeah, we weren't far from the salmon area when we were catching lings. It was pretty cool, yeah. All right, good text. Thanks
That's
a lot
awesome.
for that. Appreciate it.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. We also got a catch report coming up, more of your phone calls, and a whole lot more of Valerie. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice. We're on the mightier 1090.
Seasoned long-range fishermen know that the Red Rooster 3 is the finest fishing vessels in terms of technology, design, speed, comfort, and safety. This 105-foot sport fishing yacht meets every demand for comfort while delivering an unforgettable fishing vacation. Captain Andy Cates and crew are experienced, friendly, and sincere in their desire to help you have the trip of a lifetime. Book a trip on the Red Rooster 3 and you'll be back. Trips go fast. So check redrooster3.com or call Lee Palm Sport Fisheries at 619-224-3857.
Hey, it's time to talk about great gear from Shimano. And, you know, whether it be salmon fishing up at Queen Charlotte Safaris or fishing for tuna or calico bass, there's one reel that fits it all, and that is Shimano Tranx.
I'm with you on that, man, for sure. I mean, a Tranx 300, 400 make the perfect reel for doing salmon at Queen Charlotte's or dropping down in shallow water rock cod fishing, whether you're doing it in BC or you're doing it off the 5 Mile buoy down here. You know, you can have a reel that fits in your hand, has plenty of line, but very comfortable. And how often is it that a reel that's great for shallow water cod fishing or catching a salmon is also a perfect reel for throwing a swim bait or throwing a popper for a school-sized tuna? You know,
exactly.
It's not often that one thing can do it all, but boy, that Trank series sure is one of them.
And what makes a difference at Trank? It's the power. The power, the castability, everything about it, and the variety of sizes, 200, 300, 400, 500. It all fits the bill for no matter what kind of fishing you're doing. If you want to land a big tuna, how big is that tuna you caught on Tranks 500?
186.
186. Or you want to go catch a salmon in British Columbia. Shimano Tranks. Check it out at your local Shimano dealer.
When you want to catch big bluefin tuna, you need Shimano. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. The Shimano Beastmaster is the pinnacle of electric reels. Shimano's Gigamax motor packs a winding strength up to 250 pounds, ideal for kite fishing and more. Shimano's butterfly flat-fall jigs are irresistible to bluefin tuna because they stay in the strike zone longer. Shimano makes a complete line of butterfly flat-fall jigs to target your favorite game fish. For all your Shimano needs, visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
All of us at the American Angler family want to express appreciation to our regular passengers that fish with us year after year and to the new anglers that came out this last season. We realize how precious your vacation time is, and we are truly grateful that you have chosen to spend this time with us. It's important that your experience is memorable, from the moment you call the office to the time you step off the boat. Hi, I'm Lori. Call me at the office, 619-223-5414, or check us out at AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com. Come fishing with the American Angler family and make a memory.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. We're having a great time here this morning talking fishing, and as promised, it is time for the Catch Report. We're going to find out what's biting out there. Today, that Catch Report sponsored by Summit Gasoline. Discount Everingham Brothers live bait certificates. They have ice, fishing licenses, soda, beer, water, snacks, coffee, and most important, the best prices on gas and diesel. It's Summit Gasoline at the San Diego Sports Arena. Easy in and out with your boat trailer, and for a limited time, you can get 100 pounds of free ice with a minimum of a 35 5-gallon purchase. You heard that right, 100 pounds of free ice. There's no better place to get your gas and load up for everything you need to go fishing than Summit Gasoline on the Sports Arena in San Diego. Easy spot to find.
And inexpensive gas, too, like Costco prices.
For real. I mean, it's really good, yeah. And it's directly in between the Shelter Island Launch Ramp in San Diego and the Dana Launch Ramp in Mission Bay, and an easy spot for sure. Hey, with that said, let's find out what's going on up at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. Talk to the man, Captain Brian Woolley's on the line. Good morning, Woolley.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you this morning?
Doing great. I know it's a kind of a solemn week over there at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing with the passing of Don.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's been, me looking from the sidelines and just, certainly I don't speak on behalf of the family, but the amount of stories, the outpouring of love, and, just it's been tremendous to see just from my perspective. It's been amazing, and it's exactly what, you would expect honoring the life of such an amazing man. It's been great to see.
Totally.
For sure.
That's how it was here, too. We were obviously... so sad. Don was just the best. Such an icon and such a good one. But, you were a good person when everybody starts it exactly like that. Man, I'm so bummed to hear about Don. And then instantly starts rolling into all the fun stories and everything he did. That's how a guy led a great life and a great family. And, yeah, we missed the heck out of him. But you can't bring up that guy's name without a fun story coming to mind.
And, of course, we're going to do that Let's Talk Hookup Don Hanson tribute show, dedicated whole show to Don Hanson and stories about Don Hanson on Sunday, the 23rd, 2 weeks from today. Captain Dave will be up here, and then also Ken Frankie will be in the studio here, and then, of course, Brian Woolley's going to be with us giving the fish report, and I'm sure you'll have some stories to tell too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'll be a fun one to miss, or not. Definitely don't want to miss that.
There's going to be a lot of people participating in that.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Guarantee you. His reach was incredible. How many people he touched?
Very far-reaching.
Yeah, for
sure. Definitely. So, I certainly wouldn't have what I have if it wasn't for him and his family. So, extremely grateful for that. So. But, hey, as Mr. Hanson would expect, we kept things going, and, we had a great week of fishing up here. Half-day fishing has, it's been on the bottom with the sinkers pretty much all week. Our water temps up here 57, 58, kind of depending what the sun wants to do. So dropper loops or sliding egg sinkers fished best for the guys fishing this week. Strip baits and whole squid, not live squid, but just whole squid accounted for a fair share of bass. But, not much coming on the artificial lures, just water being cold and whatnot. So also some nice sheephead caught and released as well with, the calendar being what it is. That stuff gets a second chance. So 3/4 day action has been primarily on the sculpin front. Those guys have seen some real good fishing for that stuff. The rubber lures on a dropper loop definitely was the way to go on that, and certainly kept the smaller sculpin off as well as the rockfish. But the bigger sculpin jumped on that rubber lure. A 5-fish limit on that sculpin has been pretty standard, and then when that's been kind of wrapped up for the boat, they've been heading to the inside and trying to finish their day catching a few calico bass and some sand bass. And then still only a handful of fish on our halibut derby leaderboard, which means there's plenty of room for more fish. I know the Clemente is out today. They got 25 anglers trying to catch a few more, so hopefully, they've said there's been quite a bit of bait that's kind of pushed in along the coast here. So we'll see if they can get in some of those zones and catch some of that stuff. And other than that, the Sun Fun and the Fury are in the shipyard. And, as is the case for the fleet, this is the time of year where we all kind of maximize this opportunity to get projects done and boats painted ready for the next season of work. So that's kind of where we're at up here. If you guys want to hop on a trip, call the landing, make those reservations. Our number 949-496-5794. Of course, you can check us out on the web, danawharf.com. And also, I need to mention plenty of whale watching opportunity as well up here. It's been really good starting to see those gray whales with their little calves and that kind of stuff working their way down to Mexico. So that's been good as well for us.
Fantastic. All right. Fantastic. Captain Brian Woolley, Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. Appreciate that very much. And we will talk to you next Sunday.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you then.
Thanks, Woolley.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Well, we're waiting for Gundy. Let's go ahead and jump back into it, Rick.
You got it. Well, I had a great text here. This was from John in San Diego. Wants to know, for Valerie, how many different types of salmon can be caught from Queen Charlotte's?
Valerie?
All right. Our great claim to fame, of course, is the Chinook, the king salmon, available all summer. Start running in May. We will open May 31st, and they run clear in mid-September. Uniquely, the coho salmon will come in, that's the silvers, they start coming in and running in July, and they run clear to October. And so we have a cross of the two main species of salmon that people most sought after, I should say. Mm-hmm. And we do have some chum in there, and we do get pink in there. We don't have a big run of sockeye. Sockeye is earlier in the season. It's more of an April, earlier May fish. And you might get a few scraggler salmon coming, sockeye coming when you get there in June. But the main two species we go after the anglers are interested in catching is, of course, your Chinook and your coho.
And what's interesting about the BC limits it's not by species, it's by salmon, right? So if you want to take a coho, it counts against your Chinook limit. Is that right or no?
No. So you can have 8 salmon per angler in your trip. You could actually, if you don't want any kings, I'll say kings instead of Chinook. I'm used to saying Chinook. Yeah. If you just want kings, you can have 4 kings, and you can take 4 other species of fish, salmon species, and most people will take a coho, and sometimes there's some chums in there too.
So you can take 4 kings and 4 coho, or 4 kings, 2 chum, 2 coho, something like that.
Yes. So 8 fish total, and there's no size restrictions on your kings, your Chinook. And I tell guests, because they ask, I get asked this all the time, every trade show, phone call, etc. About the salmon limits, and kind of envision. You saw the healthiness of these fish, right?
Oh yeah.
You get like, there's nothing wrong with salmon that are like, I'm going to say 22 to 29 pounds. You get 4 of those. You almost have a box of fish right there.
Of salmon. And the chum, we caught a chum. That thing had to be 20 pounds. I mean, it was giant. It's giant.
How hard did that thing pull?
Oh, my gosh.
They're tough, man.
Oh, yeah. No,
crazy. They are tough. And these fish fight, and I want to really express this. These fish fight because their bodies, they're hungry, they're assertive, and they're going after the bait. And when you get one on, it's a fight, and it's because of the stage of life where these fish are. They're not headed right to go into, I'll just say, for an example, the Fraser River. They're way, way far away from that stage. Makes it big. So many people don't understand the difference between the river salmon and the saltwater salmon, and the inlets that are coming into the inlets. So they're not in wide open seas. I mean, they're literally coming into the inlets where all our bait fish are.
They are bright, cool. They are hungry, and they taste good. I can tell you that for sure. Good text.
Yes.
Hey, thanks a lot for that. Let's go ahead and jump back in the phone.
Yeah, you got it. Well, we got a bunch of great callers standing by. Let's go to Gus. Gus is calling us from Burbank this morning. Hey, Gus, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Yo, everybody. Yo, you guys. Yeah, I just wanted to be a witness to the Queen Charlotte Safari trip. I was there last August with Pete, and it's hard to believe that you only had a week to get ready for this group, even though you said you opened in July for the Canadian guests. It's the way you pulled it off was just remarkable to me. And I just wanted to comment on that, and I also want to comment on the trip from the harbor to the salmon fishing grounds is breathtaking. It's kind of like watching skiers doing the slalom run. In the Olympics, there are gates that you have to go around and pass through. It is incredible, and it looks like it's very shallow. And I said to the captain, I said, "How deep is it here? 10, 15 feet?" He said, "Oh no, way shallower, way shallower."
Way shallower than 10 or 15 feet?
Yeah, when the tidal swings are so. Oh yeah, and there's certain spots where you're going through there. It's it's thin water at certain tides.
Okay, cool.
But it's beautiful. I mean, you see bear, eagle, otters.
Man, that's so
rad.
it's
basically a cut between two islands, and so you're going from. Correct me if I'm wrong, Valerie. It would be the east coast of the island to the west coast of the island, right?
Right, correctly. Yes. You're going so you go through a channel called the East Skidegate Channel, and then it goes into the West Skidegate Channel. And when you get through that, and these are tide sensitive, so it's like a river, really. It's like water going two different directions, very tide sensitive. We have 4 big tide movements a day. So you guys caught it on the low tide, and then it opens. So once you get through that West Channel, it opens up into the Cartwright Sound, beautiful big sound, and then you have the continental shelf not too far from there. So it's very location. And Gus, I'm so glad you came up. You and Stacy, amazing, wonderful people, and it was a ball. It was awesome.
Yeah, Stacy, his daughter, came. Gus, we fished. Actually, my brother-in-law John and I fished with Stacy and Gus. We had such a great time, and she is a kick, man. She's quite the fisherman, and I think she really enjoyed herself too, Gus. And I know you're coming back in August, right?
Yes.
All right, Gus.
Great. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the call, Gus. It was great having you, and we'll look forward to having you back.
All right. Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. We're going to finish off with our catch report, talk to our surf guru, and a whole lot more with Valerie from Queen Charlotte Safaris. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090.
If you're looking for a high-quality cocktail that's also easy to enjoy on your next fishing trip, check out Cutwater Spirit's lineup of canned cocktails. Cutwater's master distiller and co-founder, Yusuf Cherney, is a hardcore fisherman. In fact, he developed Cutwater with all his favorite adventures in mind. Yusuf takes Cutwater's award-winning spirits, uses them to make real cocktails, and then puts them into cans so you can take them anywhere. It's like they were made for fishing because they were actually made for fishing. Check out their popular canned margarita made with real tequila, the zesty vodka mule, or the spicy Bloody Mary, which has some serious bite. They also make super refreshing vodka sodas in grapefruit, lime, and cucumber flavors. Just crack the can and enjoy a bar-quality cocktail even when there's no bar in sight. Back at the dock or at your evening anchorage in Catalina, Cutwater cocktails are exactly what you need for your next fishing trip. You can check out all 18 of Cutwater's canned cocktails at cutwaterspirits.com and then look for them at your local liquor store. Then go ahead and set your cocktail free. Please enjoy responsibly.
There are plenty of boat slips and marinas in San Diego, but there's only one Kona Kai. It's not just a place to park your boat. It's a way of life here in America's finest city. The Kona Kai Resort Spa and Marina has multiple swimming pools and a private beach, waterfront restaurants, and award-winning spa, most of which is included for marina tenants. Check resortkonakai.com for more information. The Kona Kai Resort, much more than just a place to park your boat. For quality, the Islander out of Fisherman's Landing is a favorite among anglers. But Islander Charter is much more than great fishing. They also do incredible Guadalupe white shark diving trips, as well as a schedule of kayak mothership trips. Check out islander-charters.com. The Islander is San Diego's leader when it comes to 1 1/2 to 5-day fishing. Experience the Islander difference. Visit islander-charters.com for all the details.
San Diego, do you need a vehicle that's built ready for your next adventure? Well, your San Diego County Ford dealers have you covered with the 2021 Ford Ranger. This adventure-ready truck is built with durable features like its frame-mounted step bumpers and high-strength steel frame. But that's not all. The Ford Ranger also has an available terrain management system with 4 selectable drive modes depending on what terrain you're on for optimum performance. Looking to tow your boat or trailer to your next adventure? No problem. The 2021 Ford Ranger can handle that too and has smart technology like Bliss with trailer coverage to assist changing lanes and makes driving so much better when towing your boat or trailer. Visit your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com to learn more. That's buyfordnow.com and they'll be glad to hook you up.
This is the reel Southern California saltwater anglers have been waiting for. The new Shimano Torium 40 HG. From casting wahoo bombs while long-range fishing local tuna or rockfish, the new Shimano Torium 40 HG should be part of your arsenal. With more capacity, more power, and an amazing 31 pounds of drag with Shimano's carbon drag system, nothing rivals this addition to the Torium lineup. Captain Ben Florentino of Coastal Charters says Shimano engineered Torium for the way we fish on the West Coast, with casting gear on conventional tackle. Torium's power and fishability are rooted in its body. A rigid, all-metal Hagane body encases Torium, delivering both stiffness and impact resistance. Anglers' actions are transformed directly into cranking power. Torium's S-compact body design makes it easier for anglers to control hooked fish in critical situations. The new Shimano Torium 40 HG is now available at your local Shimano dealer. Grab yours today.